The battlefield was silent. Too silent. Smoke moved slowly across the broken ground, covering the ruined colony world like a heavy blanket. The smell of burning metal mixed with blood hung in the air. Machines lay scattered in pieces, their fires dying out. The wind carried only the sound of small rocks falling from destroyed walls. In the middle of this ruin walked a tall figure. His armor shined even through the dust, black and silver with strange alien symbols glowing across it. His steps were heavy, each one leaving a mark in the soft ground. He was not human. He was something stronger, bigger, and far older. The alien commander had fought humans before. In his eyes, they were weak, soft creatures who made too much noise when they died. He had crushed colonies, burned cities, and laughed at their screams. To him, this world was just another victory. But then, he stopped. From the corner of his eye, he saw movement. Not a machine, not smoke, but a figure. One human soldier. The soldier stood in the middle of rubble, his uniform torn, his armor cracked. Blood covered his face, and his weapon hung useless at his side. He looked like he could fall at any moment. Yet, he was still standing. The alien tilted his head, almost amused. Still alive. His voice echoed inside his helmet, low and mocking. The soldier did not speak. His chest rose and fell with painful effort. His eyes, tired but sharp, looked directly at the alien. For a long moment, neither moved. Only the broken world around them shifted in the wind. Then, the alien laughed. A deep, cruel sound. He stepped closer, towering over the human like a shadow. "You humans never learn," the alien said. "You stand when you should stay down. You fight when you should run. And in the end, you always fall." The human's lips moved, but no sound came out. His mouth was dry, his body weak. Yet still, he tried to speak. The alien bent lower, curious. "Say it," the alien whispered. The human coughed blood onto the ground. His hand shook, trying to grip the broken weapon, but it slipped away. Finally, his voice came, weak but steady. "I am not finished." The alien burst into laughter. It echoed across the battlefield like thunder. He raised his massive arm, claws sharp, and swung it across the soldier's chest. The strike hit hard. The sound of impact filled the air. The soldier flew back, crashing against broken stone before falling to the floor. Dust rose where his body landed. The alien stood tall, watching, waiting. Surely now the human would stay down. Surely this was the end. But then, something unexpected happened. The human, lying broken on the ground, smiled. It was small, faint, but real. His lips curved upward, his eyes still locked on the alien. There was no fear in that expression. No surrender. Just a strange, quiet smile. The alien froze. His laughter stopped at once. His claws lowered slowly. Why? Why would a dying soldier smile? The alien stepped closer again, confusion creeping into his thoughts. He had seen humans cry, scream, beg, and curse. But this? A smile in the face of death? The human's chest rose weakly, his breath short. He whispered something, too soft to hear. The alien leaned closer. "What did you say?" he demanded. The soldier's voice broke, but the words came out clearer this time. "You don't understand." The alien felt a strange chill crawl across his skin. His instincts told him to step back, but pride held him still. He shook his head and growled. "You are broken." "You are nothing," the alien said, trying to sound confident. But inside, something was shifting. The soldier's eyes, dim yet burning with something unexplainable, did not look away. His smile remained, even with blood dripping down his chin. The alien felt the weight of silence pressing in again. The world around them seemed to hold its breath. In that moment, the alien realized something. This was not weakness. This was not madness. This was something else. Something dangerous. The soldier, even broken, carried a strength the alien could not understand. Not strength of body, but of spirit. And that smile, so calm, so fearless, echoed in the alien's mind like a warning. For the first time in the battle, the alien's laughter had died. And deep inside, though he would never admit it, a seed of doubt was planted. The alien commander stood over the fallen soldier, waiting for him to stop breathing. But the human kept looking back at him with that strange, unsettling smile. The battlefield was silent once more. Silent, but heavy with something the alien had never felt before. Suspense. And regret. Because deep in his chest, he already knew, this encounter was not over. Not yet. The alien commander stood tall, but inside, his mind was restless. That smile from the broken soldier, it did not leave his thoughts. He should have felt proud of his strike, proud of another human falling before him. Instead, he felt uneasy. The human coughed again, his body shaking. Blood stained the ground beneath him, yet his eyes were still sharp, still alive. His lips moved, whispering words that barely carried through the smoke. "You think you've won," the soldier said, voice weak but steady. "But you don't understand humans." The alien leaned down, his armor creaking as he moved closer. His glowing eyes narrowed. "Understand? What is there to understand about your kind? You break. You bleed. You die." The soldier's faint smile grew wider, almost mocking. His comlink, still attached to his shoulder, blinked with a small red light. The alien noticed it. At first, he thought it was just a broken signal, a useless human toy. But then, the light blinked again. Once. Twice. 3 times. The alien frowned. He had seen that pattern before, 3 short blinks, then silence. It was not random. It was code. Slowly, the alien stood back up, scanning the ruined battlefield. The ground was covered in rubble and corpses, machines twisted into broken metal. He had ordered his forces to wipe out the colony. By his count, the humans should all be dead. Yet now, doubt scratched at the back of his mind. The soldier coughed once more, spitting blood onto the dirt. His voice came again, quiet but strong enough to reach the alien's ears. "We are never alone." The alien's chest tightened. He turned sharply, his gaze sweeping the ruins. That was when he heard it, the faint sound of boots against stone. A slow, dragging step. Then, another. His hand tightened around his weapon. From the smoke, shadows appeared. At first, only one figure. Then, another. And another. Humans. But these were not strong, fresh soldiers. They were broken, injured, bleeding. Some leaned on broken weapons for support. Others dragged their legs as if every step was pain. Their armor was torn, their faces bruised, but their eyes burned with the same fire as the soldier on the ground. The alien's heart pounded once, hard. He stepped back without thinking. This was wrong. They should not be moving. They should not even be alive. And yet here they were, coming forward, slow but unstoppable. The human soldier on the floor coughed again and whispered, "You see now." The alien's voice broke into a growl. "You are finished. All of you. Why do you keep coming?" One of the standing humans, his helmet broken and blood running down his face, answered with a voice rough but fearless. "Because we don't stop. Even when you think we're gone, we rise again." The alien's mouth went dry. He looked from one face to another. They were weak, yes. Their bodies were broken, yes. But none of them had fear. Not a single one. The alien had fought many species in the galaxy. When they broke, they begged. When they lost, they surrendered. But these humans, they did not break. Even when death sat on their shoulders, they moved forward. The blinking comlink light caught his eye again. A signal. A code. A message sent to someone else. The alien suddenly realized, these survivors were not simply refusing to die. They were waiting. Stalling. For what? The thought sent a sharp shiver down his spine. He looked at the soldier on the ground, who was still smiling faintly, still staring back at him with those unyielding eyes. The soldier whispered again, his voice thin but sharp as a knife. "This is not over." The alien's hand trembled around his weapon. His pride told him to crush the soldier's skull, to end this now. But another part of him, a part he hated to admit existed, felt fear. He looked again at the other humans stepping forward. Broken bodies, unstoppable wills. They were coming closer, forming a half-circle around him. They were weak, yet together they looked stronger than any army he had faced. The alien's breath grew heavy. For the first time, he felt small. The soldier's comlink blinked one last time. Then, silence. The light went dark. The alien turned his head sharply to the sky. Through the smoke, something flickered. Not fire. Not lightning. Something else. And in that instant, the alien understood. The humans were waiting for something above. Reinforcements. The unease in his chest grew heavier. He felt the weight of his earlier laughter pressing down on him like chains. The battlefield was no longer his. It was shifting, changing. And for the first time, the alien commander whispered under his breath, so soft no one else could hear. "What are you?" The soldier on the floor smiled again. "Human." The word struck harder than any weapon. And the alien knew, deep inside, that the fight had only just begun. The alien commander stood in silence, surrounded by smoke, fire, and broken stone. The injured humans stepped closer, their boots dragging, their breaths heavy. Every movement they made seemed impossible, yet they refused to stop. The alien's weapon pulsed with energy, glowing brighter in his hand. He could kill them all with a single strike. He could end this now. But something inside him, something unfamiliar, kept him frozen. It was not mercy. It was not pity. It was doubt. The soldier on the floor still lay broken, but his eyes remained locked on the alien. That strange, unsettling smile did not fade. The alien growled and raised his arm high, preparing to strike the human's head and silence him forever. But before the blow could fall, something happened. The soldier's hand shot up. Weak, trembling, but fast enough to catch the alien's wrist. The alien's eyes widened. Impossible. This human should not even have the strength to move. Yet here he was, gripping his arm, stopping his strike. The alien snarled and pushed harder, his claws glowing with deadly light. The soldier's arm shook violently under the weight. Bones cracked. Still, he did not let go. Slowly, painfully, the soldier pushed against the alien's strength. Inch by inch, he forced himself up from the ground, until he was on his knees. His voice came out broken but fierce. "We don't fight because we can win." The alien leaned down, teeth bared. "Then why fight at all?" The soldier's smile grew wider, his eyes burning with a fire brighter than any weapon. His next words cut through the smoke like a blade. "We fight because we refuse to lose." The alien felt a shock ripple through his body, stronger than any weapon blast. He pulled back his arm, almost stumbling. For the first time in centuries of battle, he did not understand the enemy standing before him. Behind the kneeling soldier, the other humans moved into position. Their broken bodies hid something beneath the rubble: charges, explosives, traps hidden in the ruins of their own machines. The alien's eyes widened as realization struck. These humans had not survived by accident. They had planned this. The soldier had been bait. Before the alien could react, the survivors pressed their triggers. A thunderous roar tore across the battlefield. Explosions erupted from the rubble, from the broken walls, from the ground itself. Fire and shrapnel lit up the smoke-filled sky, swallowing alien soldiers and machines in a storm of destruction. The alien commander staggered back, his armor cracking under the force of the blasts. His troops screamed in confusion and pain, caught in the sudden chaos. The battlefield was no longer silent. It was alive with fury. The alien turned sharply, trying to call out orders, but the chain of command had already shattered. Flames rose high, and through them, the humans stood taller than before, their weakness burning away in the light of defiance. The soldier who had caught his wrist finally let go, his body collapsing again. But his eyes still shone, his smile still alive. The alien looked at him, stunned. This man was broken, dying, yet somehow he had turned the tide of battle. The alien's chest tightened with a feeling he had never known. Not anger. Not victory. Something colder. Regret. He remembered how he had laughed earlier. How he had mocked the human. That laugh now felt like poison in his throat. Through the smoke, more explosions shook the ground. Alien ships in the sky turned their weapons downward, but then, new lights appeared above. Blinding streaks of fire cut through the clouds. Human ships. Reinforcements. The alien's heart sank. The humans had not been waiting for death. They had been waiting for this. The soldier on the ground forced one last whisper through broken lips. "You are not ready for us." The alien commander staggered, his pride shattered, his confidence burning away in the chaos. He could not look away from the dying man's face, from that fearless smile that refused to leave him. All around, the battlefield screamed with fire and rage. His forces crumbled. His soldiers, once confident, now shouted in fear. The alien realized the truth too late. The humans had turned the battlefield into a trap. The humans had turned their weakness into strength. And the humans had turned his laughter into his curse. The battlefield burned. Flames tore through wreckage, smoke rose into the sky, and the ground shook with the weight of falling machines. Human explosives had done their work. The alien commander stood in the center of chaos, his armor cracked, his body trembling. Around him, his army was in pieces. Soldiers screamed, weapons fell, machines collapsed in fire. What had once been a clean victory now turned into a nightmare. And at the heart of it all, humans. Fragile, broken, bleeding, but still moving, still fighting. The commander's mind raced. He had underestimated them. He had laughed at them. And now, every echo of that laugh burned in his ears like a curse. Through the smoke, he saw the soldier again. The same one he had struck down, the one who had smiled through blood. The soldier lay on his side, too weak to rise. Yet even now, his eyes remained locked on the alien. The commander stepped closer. He should have finished this man long ago, yet something stopped him. His claws hovered in the air, trembling. Why did he fear this small, dying creature? The soldier coughed, his voice thin but sharp enough to cut through the roar of fire. "You laughed." The alien froze. The soldier's eyes burned brighter. "You thought we were finished. But humans don't end so easily." The commander's chest tightened. His pride screamed at him to strike, to silence this human forever. But his hands refused to move. Instead, he looked up at the sky, and what he saw froze his blood. Through the smoke, through the clouds, new lights pierced the darkness. Ships, human ships, dropping from orbit. Their weapons glowed, ready to strike. Reinforcements. The alien's heart sank. The battle was lost. His soldiers, scattered and terrified, could not stand against another wave. He turned back to the man on the ground, his face twisting in disbelief. "How?" he whispered. "How do you do this? You should break. You should fear. Yet you stand, even when you fall." The soldier smiled again, weak but unshaken. "That's the difference," he whispered. "We don't fight because we are strong. We fight because we must. Because if one of us falls, another rises." As if to prove his words, more humans emerged from the shadows. Some wounded, some dragging their broken armor, but all still moving forward. They circled the alien, their eyes burning with the same light. The commander staggered back. He had fought empires, crushed planets, destroyed countless species. None had unsettled him like this. None had smiled in the face of death. And now, standing here, surrounded by these fragile but unbreakable beings, he felt something he had never felt before. Fear. The soldier on the ground saluted with his last strength. His hand rose shakily to his forehead, then fell back down. His body went still. The alien's chest ached. He had seen many die before, but this death felt different. It felt heavy. Above, human ships fired beams of light into the enemy lines. Alien machines exploded. The commander's forces crumbled completely. The battlefield belonged to the humans now. The alien dropped to his knees. His claws pressed into the dirt. He could not understand. He could not escape the memory of that smile. All his victories, all his power, all his pride, none of it mattered now. Because he had seen the truth. Humans were not to be mocked. Humans were not weak. Humans were not fragile. They were fire wrapped in flesh. They were will made solid. They were the storm that refused to die. The alien commander whispered to himself, voice shaking. I laughed. But I should have feared. Smoke drifted around him as human boots grew louder, closing in from every side. The battle was done. The war had only begun. The last image that burned in the alien's mind was the face of the dying soldier. A smile, fearless and calm, staring back at him from the edge of death. That smile would haunt him forever. Because in that moment, he finally understood the truth. The real strength of humans was not their weapons. It was their spirit. And it was something he could never crush.